Hello IB students, your exam is coming and I have some tips how to pass IB geography exam. First tip, remember about command terms. Command terms really matters. It could be resilient city design maybe, and if you are asked to explain it, you just need to write down what you know about the city and describe how does it work and in what way it is resilient. In case of discuss, you also need to find some weak and strong points in it. Another tip is open your mind. You don't have to be focused on a specific case study. If you don't remember any case study about maybe some country's policy towards climate change, just open your mind, think about any possible case study you know, any possible country you've heard, you have read. It doesn't have to be something that you did during your studying IB. My another tip is look at the number of marks you are awarded for a specific question. It really matters in case of short questions. If some question connected with graph description is for 3 marks, that means that you need to write down some 3 decent statements, 3 different statements. Another thing I want you to remember about is describing graphs or diagrams. Please do remember about using data from the graph, from diagram, and calculate something. You can calculate the growing trend, you can calculate the difference between the lowest and the highest peak in a graph. Also, you can note what is the anomaly, name it, give data. In case of describing a map, please use geographic terms, geographic directions like north, south, east, west. Use geographic terms such as longitude, latitude, tropics, equator, polars. It is really important. Also, please use data from the map. They are given in the key. In case of essay-like questions, please write down the definitions of the terms given in the question. Do it in the introduction. It's the best and easiest way to write down a decent introduction for your essay. Well, first of all, don't panic. It's the easiest exam ever. Geography is such a nice subject. I believe you know a lot of things about the world, so please just write down what you know. My students keep asking me, Sir, what questions should we expect and what do you think we should focus on the most? Well, this is the first exam from this new syllabus, so it's very hard to predict what the questions would be like. Maybe I will focus on something which is very new to the syllabus in comparison to the syllabus that was used last time. So, most of new things that comes to my mind are from the Unit 3. Which is all the stuff connected with resources. First of all, nexus. And secondly, it could be sustainable development goals. There are 17 of them, and this is a very new thing, because in the previous guide there were Millennium Development Goals to be discussed. Another thing is circular economy, which is a brand new term, new definition, and very recent case. So please study it. In a new guide there is also resilient word used frequently. Resilient, like resilient city design. I think it's also something that you should learn. Considering the other units, in case of Unit 1, I think you should focus on migrations, especially forced migration case study, because in the previous guide there was a more focus on voluntary migrations. Another thing is our internal disparities within countries, and internal migrations. We had this in a case study of China. In case of Unit 2, well, actually climate change is very detailed there. I would focus mostly on the energy balance, but also on the consequences of global climate change with full understanding and details. In case of paper 1, which are options, I teach geography of food and health, leisure, sport and tourism, and urban environments. Well, in case of urban environments, I think you should focus on resilient city design, and generally speaking all the stuff that are in the end of the guide, the very last chapter of it, so all the predictions, projections, city projections, it's something new. In case of sport, leisure and tourism, I think movie location tourism might be very interesting and something which is also very new to the guide. In case of the geography of food and health, I have no idea. I feel it might be something connected with disease transition. But I don't know. This is my very first year teaching geography of food and health. And I'm not very familiar with the previous guide actually, so I have no idea what's the new stuff in the new guide.